If you don't like blending in but still want to thrive, then listen up. In today's world, attention is everything. Social media has turned it into the most valuable currency, but here's the twist. Psychology calls attention-seeking a disorder, linking it to BPD, narcissism, or even low self-esteem. So why do the most powerful people in history obsess over it? Today, in our Power series, we're breaking down what the greats knew about commanding attention and why mastering it might be your greatest advantage. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, says, never let yourself get lost in the crowd. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious. So what's the secret? The powerful know that attention is influence and influence is power. Stay tuned, because here's what the powerful don't want you to know. Mastering the art of attention can set you apart and make you unforgettable. Ready to stand out? Let's dive in.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ghost, and today we got to talk about attention. In the world today that we live in, attention is everything. It can make a personal business or break a personal business. Whether you're in corporate America or whether you're building a business or a brand, you need attention at all costs. And today we're going to be using this book, The 48 Laws of Power, to continue our lesson systems, and we're going to get some great lessons from this as well. So without further ado, let's get into the lesson.
Burning more brightly than those around you is a skill that no one is bomb with. You have to learn to attract attention as surely as the lodestone attracts iron. At the start of your career, you must attach your name and reputation to a quality, an image that sets you apart from other people. This image can be something like a characteristic style of dress or a personality quirk that amuses people and gets talked about. Once the image is established, you have an appearance, a place in the sky for your star. It is a common mistake to imagine that this peculiar appearance of yours should not be controversial, that to be attacked is somehow bad. Nothing could be further from the truth. To avoid being a flash in the pan and having your notoriety eclipsed by another, you must not discriminate between different types of attention. In the end, every kind will work in your favor. Barnum, we have seen, welcomed personal attacks and felt no need to defend himself. He deliberately courted the image of being a humbug.
Hey, thank you for making it this far in the video. I just want to let you guys know that I just completed my first ebook. Okay, now you can get the physical copy or you can just get the e-copy. I also have it on Audible that I'm working on as well. Here's a sample. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Then we're going to get right back to the video.
Ever feel the wind on your face, diaper on your waist, and not a single care in the world? Yeah, me too. Picture this. Germany, 1998 or 99. Snowstorms, freezing temps, and a 5-year-old me dashing down the street in a diaper. I heard my name being called, but hey, who has time for that when you're on an adventure? Next thing I knew, I was scooped up and whisked inside. Turns out, a car was zooming our way. Close call, right? Just one of those moments that stick with you. Growing up in a big family, 5 boys, 5 girls, was a wild ride. With a dad in the Air Force and homeschooling, we had it all: advanced education, table manners, and of course plenty of snow days. Looking back, those crazy, carefree days set the stage for the life I'm living now. And honestly, I wouldn't trade that diaper-clad freedom for anything. So here's to the adventures that shape us, even the ones we barely remember.
Now, in the last 5 to 6 years, there were a couple of guys who took the internet by storm. One in 2019, 2020, in that era was Kevin Samuels. He had a very unique way of doing things and grabbing people's attention by having conversations with women, having the hard conversations, because most of us men were simple. We don't want to argue. We just want to go to work and be done with it. But he commanded attention and did things in a different way that would make him stand out. The other person is Andrew Tate. Now, as we know, Andrew Tate is extremely controversial. He said and did the wildest things in the name of attention and marketing, but the way he did it was genius. His university, Hustlers University, I should say, has over 100,000 students in it, and each one of them were posting a clip of Andrew Tate all across all socials. It broke the internet. He broke the internet. It got so bad to where they had to ban him off of social media because apparently he was a bad influence on 12 and 13-year-old kids. So, two different men, two different ways of getting attention, but the point is still there. The point is still made. They commanded it by doing anything that's necessary. Let's get some more of this book.
Society craves larger-than-life figures, people who stand above the general mediocrity. Never be afraid, then, of the qualities that set you apart and draw attention to you. Court controversy, even scandal. It is better to be attacked, even slandered, than ignored. All professions are ruled by this law, and all professionals must have a bit of the showman about them. The great scientist Thomas Edison knew that to raise money, he had to remain in the public eye at any cost. Almost as important as the inventions themselves was how he presented them to the public and courted attention. Edison would design visually dazzling experiments to display his discoveries with electricity. He would talk of future inventions that seemed fantastic at the time, robots, and machines that could photograph thought, and that he had no intention of wasting his energy on, but that made the public talk about him. He did everything he could to make sure that he received more attention than his great rival, Nikola Tesla, who may actually have been more brilliant than he was, but whose name was far less known.
If you look further down, neither one of these gentlemen actually won that award. Now, shout out to Robert Greene for bringing this his story, but it also brings home a good point. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how savvy you are. It doesn't matter what you think about yourself. If no eyes are on you, if people don't know your name, if you can't even get your name out there, it's not going to mean anything for you or your business or your personal brand. Whether you're trying to move up the ladder in corporate America or not, people have to know about you. You have to make waves. Quick story real quick before I get to the next part. When I used to work in corporate America, we used to sell solar. Solar in Texas around 2019 all the way to 2024, 2023-ish was huge. The market was huge, right? And as a small company, what we were doing was we went to all the major cities, established an office there, and we started making sales. Now, a lot of the companies that were competing with us was Vivint, Sunrun Solar, and a bunch of other well-known solar companies or energy companies in our direct field and in our sector. So for us, what was the best way to differentiate ourselves or set ourselves apart? Correct. If you picked branding, you were right. Branding is the only thing that can separate good from great, because Vivint, Sunrun, they're all household names. People trust them, people know them, but people are looking for one of three things: faster, better, cheaper. Okay? Now, when they're making that decision, they're going to look for your information. Okay? And what we didn't do a good job on is branding, so people didn't know us. That's where we took an L. And 6 times out of 10, we would lose to different companies because we didn't have the right branding and the attention wasn't on us. So if I had to go back and do it again, obviously, my number one priority would be branding so people can know our name. Let's get some more.
If you find yourself in a lowly position that offers little opportunity for you to draw attention, an effective trick is to attack the most visible, most famous, most powerful person you can find. When Pietro Aretino, a young Roman servant boy of the early 16th century, wanted to get attention as a writer of verses, he decided to publish a series of satirical poems ridiculing the Pope and his affection for a pet elephant. The attack put Aretino in the public eye immediately. A slanderous attack on a person in a position of power would have a similar effect. Remember, however, to use such tactics sparingly after you have the public's attention, when the act can wear thin. Once in the limelight, you must constantly renew it by adapting and varying your method of courting attention. If you don't, the public will grow tired, will take you for granted, and will move on to a newer star. The game requires constant vigilance and creativity.
In 2K each year, when the game comes out, it gets more and more realistic. So the Miami Heat in 2007 and the Miami Heat in 2025 are two totally different teams, two totally different games, and the games of today are way more realistic than games of yesterday. There's a lot of people who don't really understand the game of this nature. You cannot expect to use the same methods that you used back then and be successful today, because it's a different world, but the game is still the same. See, once we figure out the game and how it's played, most people are going to be okay. But the reason why most people don't want you to know how to play the game is because then it takes away from them. There's an 85-15 split in the world. 85% of the people are sheep. 15% of the people make the money and make decisions worldwide. So if you want to be a part of that 15, understand the game. Let's get some more.
In the past, the world was filled with the terrifying and unknowable diseases, disasters, capricious despots, the mystery of death itself. What we could not understand, we reimagined as myths and spirits. Over the centuries, though, we have managed, through science and reason, to illuminate the darkness. What was mysterious and forbidding has grown familiar and comfortable. Yet this light has a price. In a world that is ever more banal, that has had its mystery and myth squeezed out of it, we secretly crave enigmas, people, or things that cannot be instantly interpreted, seized, and consumed. That is the power of the mysterious. It invites layers of interpretation, excites our imagination, seduces us into believing that it conceals something marvelous. The world has become so familiar and its inhabitants so predictable that what wraps itself in mystery will almost always draw the limelight to it and make us watch it. Do not imagine that to create an air of mystery, you have to be grand and awe-inspiring. Mystery that is woven into your day-to-day demeanor and is subtle has that much more power to fascinate and attract attention. Remember, most people are upfront, can be read like an open book, take little care to control their words or image, and are hopelessly predictable. By simply holding back, keeping silent, occasionally uttering ambiguous phrases, deliberately appearing inconsistent, and acting odd in the subtlest of ways, you will emanate an aura of mystery. The people around you will then magnify that aura by constantly trying to interpret you.
Those are very powerful words coming to you from Robert Greene. As I close, I just want to say this. As you're starting to find more information out about business, as you're starting to build your personal brand, as you start to move up the corporate ladder, you're going to have to understand the rules of engagement when it comes to being promoted, when it comes to making more money, and when it comes to solidifying yourself in the world that you choose. So you have to understand the ins and outs of these. And this is exactly why this book is so important. And this is exactly why a breakdown like this, comparing it to the real world, is so valuable, because then it shows you how you can use this and utilize this in your life. Now, the stories in here, the history as well, we can take that and we can apply it into our own lives with modern day techniques and strategies similar to what Andrew Tate did, similar to what any of these entertainers do. Because no one who's made millions is still living that lifestyle of shoot 'em up, bang, bang, putting holes on the blade, whatever the case may be, or whatever they're claiming to be for the money. Okay? It's all an air of mystery. It's all a game. You just got to know how to play it. Take care, guys. I love you. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.